On we go. What do we
Yes.
got for this hour?
We have a
Host?
topic that's health related. So we talked about it briefly, or did we not talk about it? I think I wanted to talk about it last week, then we didn't get to it. And then on the way home, I was like, I kind of want to talk about this. And then you were like, oh yeah, we should
Well,
talk about this.
you kind of made a statement. You didn't really say, well, I wanted
Okay.
to talk about this.
Oh, okay.
You just made a statement. I was like,
What was the statement that I
so
made?
the statement was because we were talking about people being inconsistent at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that you think it's harder to be inconsistent
Mm-hmm.
versus being consistent.
100%. It's harder to be inconsistent.
So
like
why
you're
is
making
it
the journey harder
Why is it
by
harder?
being inconsistent. I think the biggest part of that is, well, part of it is because you're continuing to, we were talking about this in reference to you kind of coming back, like, and being really sore.
Right.
And when you are inconsistent when it comes to exercise, especially, you're continuing to do the hardest part over and over and over again.
Which is starting.
Right. The starting, the soreness, the adjusting to a new schedule. Like you're constantly just only doing the hardest part. It's like, so I think that sometimes people think that it's always that hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people who think that it's always that hard just think that because they've never actually been consistent, and then understand how easier it becomes once you become consistent. So what I really want to talk about today is the mental load of being inconsistent versus the mental load of being consistent. Now, are you familiar with the term mental load, Jeffrey?
Well, I mean, I could figure it out. I could figure it out.
Okay. So yeah, just the mental part of being inconsistent. And there's a lot of things that if you don't think about it in terms of that, you can kind of get stuck in that cycle. So like the big one is, there's a lot of big ones, but the first kind of big one is the constantly like the starting over, or the, what you'd call like the last supper or your last meal mentality.
Last meal and testament.
Right.
Not last will and testament.
Right.
Last meal.
Yeah.
Because most of the time when you're getting ready to start anything new, I know our fit members do this. We're getting ready to start a fit challenge.
Mm-hmm.
They have to weigh in on Thursday, or you're starting the 10-week challenge, or you're starting any
journey
work versus work challenge. Like, oh, who can lose the most weight at Nelnet? Well, most everybody, when they get notification that this challenge is going to start on, like for us, April 11th, you're not thinking, all right, man, I'm going to change everything right now.
Yeah, I have a little over a month. I have 5 weeks.
I'm going to hit the veggies hard. I'm going to start walking. No.
Yeah.
Especially as you get closer to that weigh-in, I know me, it's like, okay, where do I want to eat? What pizza do I want? What I need to get in my ice cream. I need to get this in.
Yeah.
So then you go weigh in and you're 7 pounds heavier than you were 24 hours ago.
Right.
And that's why like some of these program or these like online stuff or whatever, like, oh, guaranteed to lose 5 pounds in your first 2 weeks.
Right.
Well, of course you're going to lose 5 pounds because you're going to gain 10 pounds before you start.
Yeah.
And then in 2 weeks, all that is just going to be flushed out of your system.
And you're the most committed. And you're right. Like really thinking, okay, I have 2 weeks. I'm going to lose 5 pounds in 2 weeks. So I'm going to go really hard for 2 weeks.
Right. Why do you think there isn't any other program out there that does a 10-week challenge?
Well, that's not
it's
true.
Hard.
But it is hard. Yes.
It's hard, and we want instant results. So most of the times you'll see, let's do a 6-week challenge because people aren't going to stay dedicated for 10 full weeks. And
it
we
is
see
hard.
That.
Yeah. We're in the danger zone right now.
We want to do hard things.
Week 9.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, back to our subject.
So yeah, the starting over kind of cycle that you continue to put yourself in. So it's like, I'll start on Monday. It's like Wednesday and you oversleep. You don't even oversleep. You just hit snooze. You decide not to go to your workout. And then by Wednesday night, you're like, well, I might as well just start over on Monday. And if you're going to start over exercising on Monday, well, then you might as well just eat whatever you want for the next however many days. So that's a terrible cycle to get into because you're just, you're continuing to dig yourself into a little bit more of a hole.
And when you're talking about your mental load, like it's so much harder to come up with excuses and reasons why you're not, why you can't do it, why you I can't get to class, I can't eat healthy, and you're coming up with all these, like, it just gives me a headache
Yeah, that's kind of my
thinking about
next
it.
one is
Yeah,
decision fatigue.
yeah,
That's what it's called.
right.
Yes.
It's like,
It's my next point.
I've been texting members here
Mhm.
recently, people I don't see, and it's just like, you know, it's a mental thing. Yeah, it's 90% mental.
Mhm.
But so it's like when you don't, okay, then when you're not coming, then you start to feel guilty.
Yep.
Where
That's
like,
my third point. You're
well,
just speeding through all my points.
well, we'll, go back
But it's
to 'em.
okay. That's good.
But that's kind of, it's kind of what's going through my head at the
No,
moment.
you're right, because it's not an uncommon experience. So like if anybody's listening to this and you're resonating with it, why is that? Because you're not special. Right. It's such a common experience that like I have an outline for this and you're following the outline, not even knowing that that's what the outline is. Like that's exactly what happens. It's like
Mhm.
you're going to start over on Monday, then you get decision fatigue, and then you start to become guilty about it. And then it becomes a part of who you are. Like it just becomes your identity. And it's really hard to break that cycle when you are we're really hard on ourselves. We've talked about this too. We're hard on ourselves about the things that we cannot control, and we're really easy on ourselves about the things we can control. And
Mhm.
when you get that kind of, it becomes a part of your identity. You want to be healthy, but you are not acting like a person that is healthy. You're constantly giving yourself conflicting messages, and we're always going to accept the negative feedback that we're getting from ourselves versus accepting the positive feedback.
Mhm.
But going back to kind of that decision fatigue, because you broke it down in such a like high level, but it being
Ooh,
inconsistent,
high level. Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
like the high part, like, but I think that when you really drill down into decision fatigue, you don't realize how much being inconsistent controls the decisions that you have to make. This kind of goes along with another kind of buzzword term that's around right now, especially around like the GLP-1 conversation, is food noise. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. You haven't, because you're
haven't.
not on like that part of social media the way
Yeah.
that I am. But so one of the benefits of GLP-1s that users say is because it works by kind of suppressing your digestion, which suppresses your appetite. And there's a lot of hormonal kind of things that go along with that. And food noise is something that a lot of people struggle with, where you're constantly thinking about food.
Okay.
Right. So like that's kind of what food noise is. And so a lot of people who go on GLP-1 say that it like helps with their food noise. Well, a lot of that is because you're taking out a part of the decisions that you have to make because you're eating less, because you're just not hungry as much. So you can also reduce your food noise by being more consistent with your nutrition. So there's the food decision fatigue, where you constantly are thinking, what do I want to eat? What should I eat? What's close by? Well, if you already have your meals planned, you don't have to think about that. You just eat what you have already planned. Same thing with decision fatigue about, should I work out, or am I going to go to my workout tomorrow? If I'm going to work out tomorrow, then I probably need to go to bed soon, but I don't really want to go to bed soon. I want to stay up and watch this TV show. And so you kind of just have that decision fatigue. Or if you're a nighttime workout person and you're like, should I work out tonight or not? If I do, I'm going to have to leave work by heat this time. And then when I get there, I'm going to have to do this stuff. And then when do I get home? What are we going to have for dinner? Because you haven't made that decision. And then also the decision fatigue of what to do when you get to the gym, which is why Farrell's is great, because we'll just tell you what to do. But so there's a lot that goes into decision fatigue that just makes it easy to go back onto your bad habits and make the easy choice.
We do have a question, which I'll ask this question and then we will go to break.
Well, I want to say one thing after, okay, but ask ahead. The question. It's fine.
So, no, it's a great question.
Yeah.
What can we do to not get into those modes?
Sure. Yeah. We'll talk about that in the next segment.
That's almost a whole show.
I know.
On that. So,
but before we go to break,
Yeah.
the last thing I want to talk about, because we were at a wedding yesterday. And it was Morgan, who was our last 10-week challenge winner, and she was on our show.
She was. Yep.
She got married yesterday. Congratulations to Morgan and Jared. And we sat at the same table with one of our longtime members, Carrie Lynn, and she's super consistent at the gym all the time. And so we were all talking about today's daylight savings, and oh my gosh, we're going to be so tired. And we were looking at the clock, and we'd be like, it says it's 5:30, but it's really 6:30. Like, we gotta think about it that way. And I had asked her, like, because she's super consistent. And I was like,
she's a 5 a.m.er.
Yep.
Comes at 5 a.m.
Super consistent at 5 a.m. And I had asked her, well, what time do you go to bed? And she didn't even have to think about it. She knows exactly. Well, I start to go up to bed at about 8:30. I do that Monday through Thursday or
Sunday through Thursday.
Thursday. And then she knows that she can stay up a little bit later on Friday because she comes to a later class on Sunday. Like, she didn't have to, she has taken out that kind of like, what should I do? Should I do it? Like, she has a schedule, and I guarantee you that's why she's successful at being so consistent with her routine.
Well, that's kind of an answer to the question is, and we'll get more into this when we get back from break, but like making it part of, like, when you go to work. I work from 7 till 3:30 or 8 to 4:30 or 7 to 7. A lot of our nurses and folks that work at Bryan or the hospitals, CHI, they work 12-hour shifts. So they also know when their days off are. So they have a plan in their calendar.
Not just tomorrow.
Right.
But the plan for 3 days from now.
Right. So it's like, that's part of their work schedule, is their working out schedule as well. All right. So go ahead.
Let's go to break. And when we come back, we'll kind of dive into that question a little bit more. Welcome back into Fitness Fanatics. So happy to have everyone here on International Women's Day listening, hopefully getting inspired. I've tried real hard not to say all right when we came back from break.
All right.
Because that's all I hear
Welcome
in my head.
back.
I know, is you. So I didn't do it. So, all right. So we are back. We're still talking about like the mental load of being inconsistent.
So to recap, let's do like kind of the points that we had hit earlier. Like we had the, because I was talking about the regret, dealing with regret.
So you start over, like the cycle of, the mental cycle of constantly starting over.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to start Monday. Starting Monday, I'm going to get up and work out. Starting Monday, I'm going to pack my lunch and eat healthy. Starting Monday, how many times have we done that?
Nobody starts on a Thursday.
I mean, you could.
You could.
I know.
But who wants to start on a Thursday?
So that creates, then you get into the cycle of decision fatigue, and then you just have too many decisions to make. So you just stop making decisions. You fall back onto your bad habits. Then that makes you feel guilty. You start talking bad about yourself. You start avoiding going to the gym because you know you haven't been consistent. You know it's going to be hard again. You think, oh, they're just going to think, oh, here they are again, starting over. Just not how we think at all. And then it just becomes part of your identity, and it just gets really easy to kind of stay in that, not even stay in that cycle, just avoid the cycle completely.
So that's when we go from seeing our members, on Monday, and then we see them the first of the month, and then we just don't see them ever again.
And then it creates this illusion that what you're doing is failing, but the reality is you're kind of failing at what you're doing.
Right.
So it creates the illusion that, oh, this nutrition plan isn't for me. This program isn't for me. Creates the illusion of failure, or the illusion of lack of progress. But the reality is, like, did you really give it your best? Did you really try to be consistent? Right. So what was the question?
So the question was, very important question. What can we do to not get into those modes?
Yeah. I mean, a big part of it is just the awareness of it. Because, like, I brought this up to you and you're like, wow, I never really thought of it that way. And then you talked to Crystal about it, and she was like, yeah, it is actually harder to be inconsistent with your fitness and health than it is to just stay consistent. You think it's going to be harder to be consistent, but it's harder to be inconsistent. But a lot of it is a mindset shift for one. So it's just a matter of like reframing your thoughts. So becoming the person that is consistent, and then finding ways that you can track your habits. I think that's another one, a good one too. Or write out a game plan. I think so many times we think that we're going to sign up for this program, or we're going to sign up for this meal plan. We're going to whatever. And then everything's just going to fall into place. And this is what happens. This is why like some industries exist. Like the one that I think of a lot is like journaling, or like day planners and stuff. Because people think, okay, I'm going to buy this new planner, and I'm going to buy these new really nice pens, and it's going to change everything. I'm going to write all my stuff down. I'm never going to miss a meeting. I'm never going to be late for anything because I'm going to write it. I just did this. I literally just did this like 2 weeks ago.
You wrote something down?
Yeah. So I bought just at the Dollar Tree, I bought like a planner, a weekly planner, but it was so I could track. So as part of our virtual program on our closed Facebook group, I post a daily like check-in for our virtual members. And the person I want to be is someone who schedules those ahead of time, so I don't have to do it every single day. I'm very inconsistent with it. So then usually it's like tomorrow at 7 a.m. I'll be like, oh shoot, I didn't post the Monday check-in yet. So then I'm like scrambling to post it. Well, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this planner and I'm going to start scheduling it. And there's tools that I can use to do it too, but you still have to take the time to do it. So I'm going to write down, once I schedule these ones, then I'm going to mark it on the calendar. So then I know how far out I am, and then when I need to pick it up again. And I have done it. Like I do have them scheduled out for the next like 3 weeks. But now the problem is like, what I need to not do is wait for 3 weeks and then do it again. I need to start like now, do it again and go out. So, I mean, I did it too. I haven't failed, but I haven't really had the opportunity to fail yet too. So there's definitely still time for failure.
We did have a text, which is what I was going to actually talk about too, is just says, and don't think that one bad day
100%
derails everything and gives you the excuse to wait till next Monday. Start back up the next day. So that also ties into, if you if you have a weak moment, like I might have a weak moment at like, PBA, maybe getting something.
That's not even a weak moment. You're planning on that. When we went to break, you did confess that you did have Doritos.
That was the last thing I heard.
It's a dark confession. Yeah, I kind of felt bad because she's like, well, he's
been great.
So Tuesday night
when I was sleeping,
it's not
sleeping.
Like
you were hiding it.
I was very quiet.
I don't think you needed.
No, you opening that Doritos bag, it could be really loud.
It's the most dangerous snack to have.
I know.
You're trying to keep quiet.
This is raw. It's so loud. You're
making it sound like you were afraid to eat Doritos in your own house.
I was afraid you might find out.
No, you were not.
So anyway, this ties in to the texter. Is like, okay, so Tuesday night at about 10:30 p.m. when the Huskers were down about 15. I had a bowl of Doritos,
which is an improvement because normally you would just bring the whole bag into the living room.
So it's more like stress eating, food noise, kind of all things.
Boredom, because you're like,
boredom. Like,
I'm bored of watching this team be terrible.
Why am I awake at 10:30 p.m.? Like all these things. So I'm just gonna eat some comfort food and have some Doritos.
And then I praised your great
so I felt
consistency,
bad.
And then you felt bad. So
however, that didn't mean that. Well, come Wednesday, I'm just not going to eat my vegetables.
Right.
Not going to eat my fruit. I'm not going to get back on track. So one day we're all going to screw up.
Yes.
Guess what? We're not special.
Nope.
Especially if you're going for perfection and like you never worked out.
That's the worst part.
You're not going to hit that goal.
That's why in our program for nutrition, we allow people to have a free day where they can eat whatever they want. They've been, I really want to have this. It's Wednesday. Or write it down. If you're craving a cupcake or a cinnamon roll, write it down for my free day food. And then you know what? Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to stop and get a cinnamon roll because I've earned the cinnamon roll. Now,
you don't have to earn it, but I know what you mean.
If you fall into temptation and you have a cinnamon roll on a Thursday, don't regret.
It's not the
what
end of the
happens
world.
is
It's
people start to
fine.
have regrets, and then they start to feel bad for themselves, and then that's all the
Right.
negativity that riles up.
Mhm.
No, if you fall off the wagon, so what? It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Really, if you look at the 80-20 rule, as long as you're 80% eating healthy and you're 20% eating unhealthy, you're in really good shape
And
compared
it's
to
not
most
even
people.
always 80-20. It's like comparing, like using your Dorito example. Like, yeah, you had one night where you ate a bowl of Doritos, but that is a vast improvement over the, times in the past where you would have Doritos like every night until they were gone. And then you physically couldn't eat them anymore because there weren't any more in the house. Like,
Mhm.
so it's not even always 80-20. 80-20 is a great, like, long-term goal.
Right.
But a really good short-term goal is, am I improving day by day? Am I improving week by week? So that's a lot of conversations we have with our 10-weekers at the beginning of their program when they're getting really kind of zooming in on their nutrition and kind of getting stressed out about it. And then I try to help them zoom out and say, like, okay, no, your macros aren't perfect, but compare that to how you ate a week ago. Are you
Mhm.
making improvements? And if you are, that's really all that our body cares about. Like, it doesn't know that you're doing a program that's 6 days a week. Your body doesn't know that you're supposed to be eating X amount of protein and carbs and fat. Like, it doesn't know that. Like, you're
Because it doesn't know that
right.
it's a Saturday.
Right.
So I
Like,
get to eat some pizza.
and
It's my free
maybe
day.
not
Doesn't know
even
that.
knowing it. It doesn't care. Like, the only thing that your body really cares about that is that you're getting the movement in, you're improving, you're doing things more now than you did, a week
Mhm.
ago, 2 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. So that is definitely part of the self-sabotage, which is really, I think, what most people, we continue to self-sabotage ourselves. And that's what helps keep us from that consistency.
Right.
So some of the tools, again, like we were talking about, just to answer the question again, like using some type of tracker. We use attendance cards for our 10-weekers and our fit members. And if you come to class for an entire week, you get a sticker on your attendance card. You might not think that that's very motivating, but for a lot of people it is. So get your own calendar at home and, like, start tracking your workouts. And if your
Mhm.
goal is 3 workouts a week and you get 3 workouts in that week, put a sticker on your calendar and you're going to see that. And then you can look back and be really proud of the progress that you've made. Even if it wasn't perfect. Like, I was just putting stickers on attendance cards this morning, and we have a couple people that didn't have perfect attendance, maybe week 6 or whatever, but week 7, they got another sticker. And I
Right.
really love seeing that, because it's like you're really building confidence in your ability to get back on track,
Mhm.
which is
Which
where
is
it could
huge.
have been a stumbling block in the
Right.
past.
Right.
So I think that's a big one. It to kind of get out of that cycle. And then the other thing is just, like, really being prepared. So having your clothes laid out already, so you don't have to think about what you're going to wear to your workout. Having your meals prepped, or at least parts of your meals prepped, so you can just throw it all together. Keep a gym bag in your car. So maybe
That's a big one.
Right.
They're going to work out after class, but they forgot their clothes.
Yep. Yeah.
So we
So
hear
keep,
that
like,
a
a
lot.
separate gym bag in your car. So if you did forget something, like, you have a secondary
Mhm.
option that you're
Yep.
like, okay, this isn't probably what I would love to be wearing, but I'll at least be able to get my workout in because it has everything that I need and I can go and get it done. And even if I can't get an hour, 45 minutes in, I can commit to 30 minutes. I can commit to 20 minutes, do something to
Mhm.
help build your confidence in your ability to be consistent. I think that's a good one.
Well, and another
Anything
one
else?
is kind of what we have on our board that AD talks about all the time, is having a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you have a strong reason why you're doing something, it's like me trying to lower my cholesterol because
Mm-hmm.
even though I'm a gym owner, like, hey, I struggle with things just like everybody else does. It's
Yeah.
up and down. But now I have it in my face, where a doctor is
Yeah.
like a real doctor.
Like,
It's say,
honestly,
hey, you need to
that
do
was the
this.
only thing that was going to really make you overhaul the quality of your
Right.
diet. Because
So,
you could make Doritos fit into your macros.
which I
Like,
had for years.
yeah, you had for years, And that was fine from a body composition perspective, but from a overall optimal health perspective, you needed to add a little more nutrient density into your diet. And you weren't going to do it until you absolutely had to do it.
Do you think I want to go home, Harrison, and drink Brussels sprouts and spinach?
But you do
broccoli.
Have a sense of pride when you drink that. You feel good about yourself.
Before I get ready to drink this, I'm like, I talk to the vegetables. I say, you better get into my blood.
That's a meme.
Lower
the
fatty
my
blood
life.
cells. This is what you are supposed to be doing.
That's
every
good.
fruit I eat, every vegetable, when I'm drinking this giant thing of just green water that has 20 grams of fiber in there. Like, I mean, next week we have Jake on back from UNL is going to be back with us.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
He's going to be so proud of you.
He is.
And I'm going to be like, dude, I'm averaging like 40 to 60 grams of fiber a day. He's going to be so excited.
Yep.
And you're 46?
47.
47. Look at the changes you made.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Anyone can. It's never too late. It's never too late.
And I'm starting to, like with the asparagus, I'm starting to enjoy it. I really do like it.
Look forward to
salmon.
Here's a question: do the cravings for bad food start to go away?
Yes.
Because I noticed, like for me, I'll. It's also because I'm not 13 anymore. But like the Debbie snacks, like they just taste like garbage now. If I ever have one, like maybe a zebra cake will hit right every once in a while, but it does not taste
the
same.
It's diminishing returns.
Yeah.
When it comes to junk food, for sure, and then you kind of become desensitized to it. So I've noticed that because we haven't had pizza on the weekends. We just make our healthy version of pizza, but we haven't ordered pizza. And the first week, it feels like something's missing, but that's more a habit.
But you know what? We've made our own.
Well, that usually tastes better
home with like lavash bread and so we haven't ordered. Yeah, we haven't ordered any Casey's. I haven't had any Culver's.
No.
So like I'm trying to.
Your ice cream yesterday was your first ice cream you've had in a while.
Literally,
I almost broke and got ice cream
in weeks
yesterday. That sounded good.
Right, but yeah,
I have those reasons. I mean, which I'd had them before, but you know, my goal now is to go back in May and be like, let's check this blood, and then when the numbers go down, I can be like, see. I told you I could do this on my own.
You're going to keep doing it is the key.
Well, yeah.
You can't just go back to your bad habits. No. You have to keep, it has to be something that you're creating habits. But yes, a lot of times when it comes to those highly palatable processed foods, becomes more of a conditioned response where you're just eating it out of habit and you have to break the habit first. Like you just have to stop just getting a little Debbie cake every time you go into the gas station. Because then you're just a lab rat. You're just like hitting the button. And you're eating and you're like, I don't even want this.
And they're made to be addictive, aren't they?
They 100% are made to be addictive.
Most things.
We might talk about
with
that
sugar,
with Jake.
basically, yeah. So
food science made that.
And we've talked about how like if you have an apple in front of you and
what's test I've been trying to use.
What's your favorite candy bar, Harrison?
A Butterfinger.
Okay. Me too, right? Bart Simpson. Okay. So if you have a Butterfinger and an apple, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
After you eat that apple, you're not
craving
begging for another apple.
Or if someone gave you another apple, you wouldn't be like,
I'm good.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a decision.
Right.
But if you ate a Butterfinger and then someone was like, oh, here, I have another one.
You're just like,
you might think about it.
I could take it.
I could eat another Butterfinger.
Right. Let's go.
Easily could get the 3 more down.
That
Butterfinger was made by a food scientist and the apple was made by nature. And nature knows much more about what your body needs versus the food scientist knows what you want, what your mind wants more than anything. It's engineered to be craved and
so I do think the longer you go without something,
it does
the less likely you really want it.
And then if you do have it, like you said, every once in a while it will hit, you know, but it's not just because you're having it because I'm getting gas and I'm going to go into the gas station or I'm passing a gas station. Maybe I should stop.
Well, I had to do that with sodas. And I always go back to the Mountain Dews, but like gas station, like almost get a Mountain Dew out of habit, like not even thirsty. Just you know, do I want a water? Well, I'm not thirsty. I'll take a Mountain Dew though.
Right.
Like, it's just, it doesn't make any sense.
So true.
It makes perfect
sense. It does make sense.
Because that's how our brains function.